Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson. I have a very special episode for you guys today. I have a guest that I'm bringing on the show. His name is John Ferguson. John Ferguson is an expert in face-to-face selling of MLMs. He's been hired and worked for the Rich Dad Company. He's one of the guys that MLMs hire in and bring in to help improve their entire sales process. He creates scripts to help sell products. He creates scripts that lets you sell your MLM product in a way to people you've never met before that is not pushy. So I'm very excited for him to be here. It is a treat to have him. Please take notes on this. This is not your normal kind of thing. and had to beg him to get on the episode here. So I'm excited. Let's go ahead and jump in the episode today. So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. You guys actually have a really special treat. I'm excited. I have a guest on the show with me today, and his name is John Ferguson. And literally every time I speak with him, I feel like I learn and I grow. And there's different things that I learn about the MLM industry. I learn about what he's doing, and frankly, it's amazing the resume that John has. And I want to bring him on the show here and give you guys a chance to be elevated for with what he's been doing. So without further ado, John, how's it going?
Doing fantastic, Steven. I'm super stoked to be here. I'm glad you invited me on. I am ready to deliver, and I appreciate that introduction, dude. I feel like a hero already.
Well, you are. I feel like, I don't know, every single time I speak with you, you're like, oh yeah, I helped, I don't know if I can say this. Yeah, I helped Robert Kiyosaki with this. I helped this huge person over here. I set this MLM over there. Like, what? Like, you've been doing a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I've kind of tried to. I played the back end role for a number of years, where, like you mentioned the Rich Dad organization. I really played that back end role. If you think about like Batman, he's got not Robin, which is the sidekick, but Alfred. Right, the guy that's making sure all the gadgets work, make sure that the Batman's not getting himself into trouble, and it's really a role that in the past has really helped a lot of people, like people you just mentioned. So it's a lot of fun for me to see others succeed with the systems and the tools and the coaching and mentoring that you offer them. So yeah, it's been an awesome career so far.
Now, I wanna be able to go through kind of how you got into this and did it and all, but could you just, for everyone else on here, if they don't know the amazing John Ferguson, could you just give us a rundown of what it is that you actually do when you say, Rich Dad Organization and the other ones you've worked with?
Yeah, certainly. So what I do is I help closers sell more, okay? I help individuals who've never sold in their lives sell their first sale. When it comes down to network marketing and multi-level marketing, I find there's a lot more nurturers than really the A-type personalities. And for me, what we do is we take individuals by the hand, we guide them and we direct them through selling without selling. And I know that sounds kind of weird because you're like, well, what's selling without selling? Like, you've got to sell, right? What it is we remove the animosity by helping people learn an evaluation process by accepting people rather than just going into like a hardcore close.
Sure.
Right? Close them down. So that's really what we do. We in the past, like with the Rich Dad organization, I came in and contracted as a trainer and worked there a number of years, where we took their telemarketing, their speakers, their trainers, their coaches, and really developed them in some better methods of asking better questions to help get to the root of the desire and the needs of people, and then we can deliver that through the products and services that we offer. And the cool thing about MLM is that there are so many people that need so many things, and I buy so much stuff from network marketing companies. I think I'm on like an auto ship for like 7 different ones. And it's not that I sell their stuff; it's that there are so many wonderful products out there. I want to help other people get them to the marketplace and get them in the hands of consumers and eliminate that fear of enrolling people and making the sale.
That's incredible. I mean, so you've done it. I mean, you've quite the rap sheet, and thanks for explaining that. I know you do a better job than I would doing that after talking with you extensively this past little while and past few months. But are you, I guess, there's two different directions I want to go with this. My brain is just all over the place. I'm excited to have you on here. Do you use a lot of like spin selling methods? You know, like the book Spin Selling. Is it that kind of thing a little bit?
It's more direct. And
okay.
I'm not the proponent network marketing that is going to always jump after mom, dad, sister's cousin, the next door neighbor's dog and try to invite them into my network marketing business. I've never done that in sales either. What I like to do is I like to put out the proper marketing, which I know that your people are learning some phenomenal tools, Stephen. You're teaching them how to attract the right people, actually people who really want what you have, and then enroll them and get them buying from you. And so my end is coming on the back end of that is how do I determine it? Like, how do I determine the wants, the desires, the needs from somebody? And so I take them through a series of questions, like broad-based questions, pointed questions, and direct questions. And I always get the question, hey, John, isn't a pointed question a direct question? And not really. A pointed question just kind of gets more to the point, and a direct question is literally right on the money. It's right when you're going for like the heart of the matter. And so if we can learn to ask a little bit better questions, what I can do is I can find out exactly what their needs are, where their pain is. And I'm not using pain to like make that person really feel it, because who wants someone to like squeeze their wound, right? Hey, you got a cut there. Let me get some salt water and just start spraying it on there. No, okay. But we need to know where the pain is so that we can either move them away from it or motivate them towards pleasure. And that pleasure point is what I'm after mainly. Because, we live in a day and age right now that everyone can see through the BS, like the belief systems, okay? Not the other BS, okay? But where there's so much on the internet, there's so much on YouTube, there's so much all over the place that we just want the information we need now, but we also want to know that the individual that is working with us is going to help us for us, right? And really cares. And so our method allows our closers to step into a role. I wouldn't want to say expert advisor, because I don't think coaching closes. It's not something that I believe. I've had a lot of people go from the coaching industry into selling, and when they coach, they can't close because they give so much information. Yeah. The person is like, "Oh, this is great. I'm going to go out there and do it." So when it comes to our method, it's really just getting the root of it's human communication, man. It's just understanding what your goals and focuses and expectations are, and you as the closer knowing your product well enough, knowing your services well enough that you're able to match what is needed and what is desired with that individual in a way that they beg to buy from you. I mean, it's backwards. Like if you want to call it something, I wouldn't call it spin selling. Let's say backwards closing or something like that.
Right. That's interesting. Do you mind giving a few examples of like the kind of questions you would ask? I guess you and I meet on the street and I show a little bit of interest in what you're doing. What would you ask me?
So here's the thing is, I would first off, if we're going to meet on the street, like we're at Barnes & Noble or we're at some bookstore or some function, and I believe you have some type of an interest in my business, right? So for instance, one of the easier ones out there right now is like health and fitness or real estate. It's a pretty hot topic. So what I want to do is I want to just kind of ask you a broad question, right? Okay. So, for what I would do is I'm really just going to get into it. So what do you currently do for a living, right? And someone's going to say, well, I'm a trash truck driver. And I go, wow, how long have you been doing that for? And they're going to say, well, I've been doing that for 16 years. And I go, oh, man, you must love it. Okay. And that answer right there is an answer and a question all at the same time. Once I'm slapping them, upside the head, going, wow, interesting. I love it. And then they're going to say, not really. Or they go, you know what? It's not bad going through other people's junk. I just don't see retirement in it, right? So you're going to find out an answer. What I'm doing there is I'm trying to poke them a little bit without being rude, and I don't want to create a situation where I'm hurting anybody, but I want to find out, okay, where are you at? Like, are you ready to move out of this thing, or you're in this function for what? And if they say, hey, look, yeah, I hate it, I want to get out, I've been stuck in it for a number of years, and then I say, well, fantastic, right? So what would you be doing? Or what, if you had a better opportunity, what would your life look like? So what I'm trying to do is I'm getting some broad questions to find out where this individual may fit. and I'm building rapport, but I'm going to stay on an agenda. My agenda is to get them to a more pointed question on how I can get this person into my business. Now, so I may ask, would you keep your, the classic, do you keep your options open for making more money? I don't like that question. I don't usually use that question because it's too weird. Like for me, it just makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
So, shower time. No. So what I got to do now is I just say, hey, look, I tell them what I'm doing. I say, look, I've been a real estate investor for 17 years. I'm looking for some individuals that might qualify to work with me in that arena. Have you ever thought about real estate investing as an option to make more money? So I'm going to get a little bit more direct, a little bit more pointed on my questioning, and I'm going to ask them, right? And if they're at a real estate function, or if they're at a network marketing function, or I'm never just going blind a lot of the times into just questioning people off the street. I believe that there's enough people out there that we can target the proper marketing to attract people on the front end, that my process allows me to help them through all the way to the back end and becoming a buyer. So pointed questions. If I was going to go on pointed questions, I just ask them, for instance, if that person said, yeah, I'm looking for something better, I'd say, how would you like to better your experience in life? Right? And they're going to give me, what they want to accomplish. Now, I'm not going to get into becoming their buddy. Okay. Those questions aren't going to be for me to go, okay, they say, well, better at life. They say, well, I'd love to travel more. And if I get into a discourse of, now I've been here, I've been there. Oh, my life, because of what I've been doing in my business has allowed me to do this. I get into my 30-minute pitch on how great my life is because of my business. I just lost those guys.
Right.
They don't care. They really don't care. What they care about is that you care that they care about what they want. And I know that sounds a little weird, but that's what it is. And if I'm able to say, okay, that's fantastic. I love travel too. I've had the blessing of being able to travel with what I do. And then follow that statement always up with another question. Where would you travel if you had the time and money? Like if money wasn't an option, time was an option. If you weren't dumping trash, where would you go? Right? And be genuine about it. Literally, we got to be more interested. It's about questioning rather than dictating. And I think that's where a lot of MLM upline don't understand. They came in the same way, and they're like, hey, give them your story, give them your 2-minute blast. Just chase until they buy or die. Literally, you're going to kill them.
Yeah.
Right. So I think if today's day and age, if you're able to ask the proper questions, you're able to minimize that shortfall, and you're going to be able to lead this person down. You're going to be able to help that person. And in the meantime, you will build rapport faster if you stay on target with these types of questions rather than trying to dictate, hey, your life is so much better. Find out about them. Ask them the questions. It's going to build so much intrigue in this person that you're asking these questions. You're giving these little mini statements, what I call little micro commitments or a mini statement of where your life is. Or what you're loving about your current company and your current situations, you're growing, than it will ever do you just dumping a whole bunch of information on me. You'll verbal vomit, and a lot of people talk about that. But
you're saying that it actually works to pay off and actually care about people.
Right.
Just real quick, I want to just run through this real fast. So you're saying, first of all, I love that you define the difference kind of between a pointed question versus a leading question. You're not asking leading questions, you're asking pointing questions, right?
Correct.
Where you're going out and you're saying, hey, I'm writing notes like crazy, just so you know. You started out, you said, hey, what do you do? And it's big, broad question, trying to figure out where they fit. It's like, whoa, you must love it. And that is huge. Before you're going out and you're talking about yourself, you're like, you must love it. And you say, then from there, there's going to be a split. Yes, I do, or no, I don't. And then from there, you kind of know where to take the conversation, right? I mean, they're the ones basically, you're just kind of guiding it. Right?
Correct.
The whole way? That's amazing. Okay.
Everything. Yep. You're guiding the process, and what you're doing is you're leading them down this path to essentially want to buy from you. They want to enroll with you. They want to continue to engage.
So where do you
psychology, right?
Sure.
I mean, everyone wants to be heard, right? And so if someone's going to listen, they're going to keep telling you, but you have to guide that not down the road of, hey, let's become best friends. We're going to talk about what we ate last night, and I love pasta too. No, I like fried spare ribs, whatever it is. Don't go there. Try to keep it pointed. And so it's less about us now, and it's more about what their needs and desires are. And if they feel that they're getting their needs met and their desires met by talking to you, that's going to draw them in to wanting to move forward, even if it's a simple invitation. Hey, you know what? It sounds like you do really well with what we're doing. I'm pretty sure that you'll love it. Let me give you my business card. Let me get your information. I'm going to send you an email on XYZ. I want you to watch this 5-minute video, or I want you to watch this 10-minute video. And real quick, it's going to ask you a few more questions. It's to introduce you to my business, to some of my partners. I think you're really going to love it just based on our conversation. It kind of opens the door for you to do that initial interview, that initial quick introduction to your business. Even if you're out live at an event, you're able to hand your card off. You're able to show them your website, and it's less abrasive, and they're going to have more intrigue to go, wow, that was a really cool conversation. I don't usually have those conversations, so I'm going to go watch this website, because what those guys have might be something I've actually been looking for a long time.
So from
whether
there,
they're looking or not, they're going to want to go look.
Okay, no, awesome. So from there, if they're going, I'm trying to outline it. So you're going broad, you're going pointed questions, and then you kind of go through, you call it kind of the needs, desires sections, right? And how long do you usually stay in that? I'm sure it's per conversation, but I mean, how do you know when you're able to go out and finally drop the line of, hey, let me get you, my business card, let me email you, let me send you this 5-minute video. When do you know you've gotten to that spot that you can actually say that kind of stuff?
So typically what happens is once I've asked enough of these questions, even before I get very direct, I might ask a direct question of an individual. I might say something like, at the end of the day, you've influenced your family and you've won more freedom by working with us. Why did you do it? And then they're going to tell me, what's going to happen even is we've been asking them questions so long that they're going to get, like I said, intrigue about us. They're going to ask us what? They're going to say, so, it sounds like you got something awesome going on. What is it you do?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like, who are you? Right?
Yeah.
And that's going to open the door for you now to share that invitation, right? You've understood their needs. Now, we're talking, face to face right now. Now, if I was going to be over the phone, right? If some of my advertising was through, and don't tell anybody, but I've done some of this ninja stuff on Craigslist. I just posted a little ad that says, hey, look, are you interested in XYZ? If you are, call me, or if you are, respond. And this stuff works there too. And obviously building funnels and posting those paid advertising through Facebook and Instagram, all that works really, really well. But when it comes down to it, let's say you've got people in Nebraska and you live in California. What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to meet that person face to face? They've just introduced themselves to you. They're going to go through your funnel. They're going to get your thing. But I like high ticket sales. And so I want to help this person get the maximum of what's going to help them. And so the lowest product price point that we typically sell is about $2,000. And we do that a little bit over the phone. And so if I'm asked, I can run this line of questioning over the phone. I'll have a notepad right next to me, writing the answers down as I go. So I can go, okay, wow, that's a need. Okay, wow, that's a desire, right? And so now as I'm asking questions, I can define out what my next questions are. When you get really, really good at it, these types of questions, it will just come natural to you. And it's just following a progressive line, broad-based, pointed, direct, broad-based, pointed, direct. And sometimes you'll ask a direct question and they won't want to answer it. They may feel a little standoffish if you haven't done a good job of building that initial rapport, bringing them down the ladder, right? No one wants to go from the 15th step on the ladder and jump down to step number 1. Like, it hurts, okay? It's kind of like dropping 150 feet with your buddy, filming it on Facebook, and screaming until you fall. Like, I saw that video of you. That's nuts, right? Yeah. But no one wants to feel that way without the bungee cord, okay?
Right.
So we have to take them down that ladder. And sometimes you may have to come back up and ask a little bit more pointed question to get to where you want, and then come back down to the direct question to get to the root of the issue or what their true desire is. So now they're literally asking you, Stephen, this may sound a little bit more complicated than it really is. It's literally 1 or 2 broad-based questions, 1 or 2 pointed questions, and 1 very direct question. You have 5 questions, and you have literally open the door, and they're literally asking, so what is it you do? How long have you been doing it? Is there any information that I can have that I can talk to you about? And if I'm doing this over the telephone, it's about an 8-minute conversation. right? I like to keep it about 5 to 12 minutes. Anywhere out there, what I typically find, especially individuals putting this into practice, is when we're teaching telemarketing teams, or when I'm teaching a network marketing business. Like I was just in New Jersey teaching 200 network marketers in the room in like a 6-hour session how to do this, and the challenge is asking less but doing it in the right way.
Interesting.
Because I think we have this desire just to talk. And what I found was a lot more people spend more time talking and trying to talk someone into liking their thing because you like it. No one cares why you like it. Like, they just don't. What they care is why they might like it, or what will help them. Spend less time dictating and more time recording, right? Taking down the right information. And ultimately, they're going to ask, they're literally going to, what's my next step? How do I move forward with you? I've had people say that they've never had conversations like this ever in the network marketing world, right? I'm sure a lot of your listeners right now are going, yeah, man, people would just beat me up and just ask me, hey, come to my thing. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to get this. You're going to get that out of it. And it was just noise.
Right.
Well, let's turn off the noise, ask some more questions, and let them speak for a minute, and guide them down this path to where they're literally begging to buy from you.
What's the golden question that someone can ask you? Obviously, besides, hey, where do I put my credit card? But like, what's the question that when you know that you have them, you know what I mean? When you know that this person's progressing, and maybe that's probably the wrong way to say that, but when you know that they're following the process to the T and they're eating out of your hand, you know what I mean? When do you know?
It's a number of things. It's a number of questions.
Sure.
Typically, in our industry, because it's sales, some of your listeners may have heard the title buyer's questions.
Sure.
Really, I like to call it an intrigue question. But really what it is they're asking you, okay, what's the next step? That's it. Because it doesn't feel abrasive like a sales pitch or a sales opportunity. It's more like an invitation. They're typically asking, so how do I move forward with you? Like, what's my next step with you? Do you have a meeting that I can attend? Do you have something that I can acquire now? And so they're literally asking you at that point for the sale. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They're asking buyer questions. Yeah, that's how I think. Absolutely. Okay.
Right.
Intrigue questions. Yeah. Huh. And so what would be your follow-up at that point? Obviously, you said, hey, go to the 5-minute video, or I'm going to email you, or, what's the preferred thing that you do with them after that?
So depending on what I'm doing, or depending on the organization that I'm working with, some of them have like an initial introductory video or an initial introductory meeting where they're going to have to come sit down with you and meet with some of the other team members that you have, or they're going to come out or they're just going to stay at home. They're going to watch a webinar and they're going to go through this introduction to the company. So typically I'm delivering them to some type of information that continues to build intrigue, but also delivers some information. And it's what we call kind of either a business orientation, a business briefing, and that is literally our first few steps in this entire process, okay? Because at this point now, it's a presentation. Right now, we're going to be delivering some of the information to continue that intrigue, but to deliver on what we promised. And then at that point, we're going to take them through our closing process. And it's literally a 3-step process. It's introduction, invite, presentation, and then close. I mean, that's as simple as it gets.
Wow. Now, this is something that sounds like you're doing this, like you said, like face to face and over the phone, but not just for like, it's fascinating because most, especially phone scripts, right? Most phone scripts that I've ever used, especially in the internet marketing space, kind of the other market that I'm in, right? I typically, these kinds of phone conversations is something that we would do for more warm audiences and people who knew who we were, knew what we were doing, and we were just there to kind of close them and guide them in the sale. But you're able to do this kind of thing to, I don't want to say cold, but people who you honestly may have never met before.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
That's amazing.
But I don't like, the whole, I got my mom and dad and my cousins and sisters in my first couple of network marketing, businesses.
Who didn't?
And they've done so I think a lot of the listeners have done that. They've tried that.
Sure.
So, there's only so many family members you've got, right, that can buy from you and join your thing. So you have to go out there and build new relationships. And the only way to do that is to either go out there and literally cold market, which can be a little bit more difficult. Warm them up first, right? Why not send them to an initial video? Why not get them to opt in to an advertising piece? Why not have them call you first? Get them knocking your door down first, and then take them through these little bit of questions, take them through an introductory video or a webinar, and then invite them to participate with you.
That's fascinating. This is an incredible expertise. I appreciate you just kind of outlining that. I'm sure top level. For those of you guys who don't know, I've been talking to you guys a lot about the program Secret MLM Hacks that I've created and my team's in, and we're selling also to any of those of you guys who want that. John is so good at this that I pretty much begged him to come and teach a huge segment of this inside of the course as well. So those of you guys who are like, oh man, this stuff's so cool, how do I get more of that? Well, you get a lot more John Ferguson inside of Secret MLM Hacks as well. And this expertise is incredible, John. How did you develop this? I mean, this is not like a normal, you know what I mean? I don't know many people who are doing what you're doing like this. In fact, you're probably one of the first ever in this kind of way. How did you get there?
It was out of bare necessity. So let me give you some backstory. Real quick through some of my backstory.
Sure, yeah, please.
I grew up in a home in Southern California. My father was laid off 7 times before I was 17.
Wow.
For most of my life growing up, I lived with my grandparents. And my mom, my dad, my 2 brothers and I, my grandma, my grandpa, and my great-grandmother lived in like a 1,500 square foot home in Whittier, California. It had 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, and there's a need for 4 bedrooms there. And so I learned a lot. One, I learned family, the importance of family, and how hard it takes to work to keep a family together, especially when you're struggling financially. And I also saw that working a job wasn't for me. Like, I saw the struggle. My father worked 3 jobs at one time. They would go around cleaning churches when I would grow up. And I was a little squirt, running around at 5, 6, 7 years old, taking the chalk erasers and, smacking the board with them as my dad was finishing up, wiping them down in the church, and he'd have to go clean them up again. Later on in life, I realized why he was a little upset with me, but couldn't really freak out because we're in a church. I saw that level, and so I decided to go to college. And like most people, they're like, okay, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good career. So I took that path, and I played basketball in college, and I went up and dunked on somebody in a preseason game. And I ruptured 2 discs in my back, blew out my knee and my ankle.
Oh my gosh! And
there was no way I was going to be able to get an NBA. And I'm sure some of your listeners, were going NBA. Yeah. And I was not going to be able to play in the National Basketball Association because, I had blown out my body. To this day, I can't feel my left leg. Like, part of my left leg is like numb. My foot is a little bit numb because of that injury.
Wow.
And so, going to college, I mean, why go to, I thought at the time, and no disrespect to anyone who has a diploma, that's awesome. You guys did it. You won it. Fantastic. There are careers that definitely need the education. But for me at the time, I was like, well, if I'm not going to get into the NBA, right? That's the whole reason why you're going to college is to get an NBA.
Right.
I quit. I was like, I'm out. And so I got into the career world. I started working in a company called Hollywood Video. That dinosaur video place you used to go rent movies from.
Yeah.
I wore the red cummerbund. I had the red bow tie. I was waving at people. And within a short period of time, it was about 4.5, 5 years, I had risen up from the ranks from just customer service representative up to a district manager. And I had 14 stores. I was running $multi-million for this company. And I remember coming home from one vacation. You got paid 5 weeks paid vacation. I came home from one vacation. And my beeper, like, for those of you guys who don't know what that is, it's kind of like a little box that buzzes and beeps on your hip, okay? So half the size of cell phones today and like 3 times as width. But I was coming down the mountain. I was up fishing and camping with my family, and it goes off. It's like beep, 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 beep. And I'm looking down at it and going, what is going on with this thing? It was like 911 asterisk. 91111 asterisk 91111. I'm going, what is, like, someone had to have died in one of my stores. I'm freaking out. I call my manager, the VP over the area, and he's like, where are you? You need to come in right now. And I'm like, I just got off a vacation. And if you don't know the type of organization I was working with, is like, to go on vacation, you had to, like, I filled out this form, and then the form had to be filled out by my boss, and then the boss had to send it to his boss, and the corporate had to sign it. They had to send it back to you, and you got like 5 pages of documentation showing you're gone, right?
Wow.
So I get back, literally, I got written up for being gone because one of my store managers got sick. The assistant manager couldn't come in and cover their shift. In one of my stores, like an hour away from even where I live. And my manager had to go in and cover the store for like 20 minutes. What I found is that I was climbing the wrong ladder on the wrong building. And I mean, at the time, I was the number 1 in revenue. I was the number 1 district manager in the company for, the holiday contests and sales. Like, things were like at the top of my level, and I had a lot of loyalty. And at that one moment, I lost my 2.5% raise. Now think about that.
2.5%.
Back then, I was freaking out about not earning another $1,600, $1,700 a year.
Wow.
Because I was only making about $80,000 a year. And 2.5%, 2% of that is $1,600, $1,700.
Wow.
And like, to someone like that, like, I look back on that, like, how did I survive? Right.
Right.
But that's how it is. Like, that was a good salary then. And, for me, I had to find another way. And so, getting into this situation, I got into my very first, real estate property. I became a real estate investor, and for 2 years, I spent a ton of money, like over $200,000 in trainings and boot camps and seminars and coaches. And I finally I was able to quit my job, and I got involved in a network marketing organization. I'd never been involved in one before in my life. And they said, okay, go get everybody. So I get everybody. I got like 30 people in this one meeting, 25, 30 people. The guy in the front of the room is rocking. Like, he's up there, he's like telling the story, and I'm watching all my guests. And I'm in the very back. The room is filled with like maybe 200 people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make like $100,000 tonight. Like,
look at all this. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is so great. And I'm looking around at everybody around me. I go up to my mentor. I tap him on the shoulder. I'm like, dude, check it out. I'm going to get certified in one meeting. I'm going to make $100,000. You're going to make like $50,000. This is sweet. Like, I'm so excited. And I'm telling everybody, and all the people I looked up to in this new network marketing business that have been involved with maybe a couple of months. And I'm like, I've been working my guts out trying to get people in this room. And this is going to be so awesome.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the night, most network marketing companies do this is okay, are you a 1, are you a 2, or a 3? Are you an A, a B, or a C, right? And like, all my people are like a 2 or like a 1, meaning they're in, they want to join, they got some questions, but they want to join. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to handle all this business all at once? And so I grab like 2 laptops, and I go run in the front of the room. I grab all my guests and say, okay, you guys follow me, right? Like the Pied Piper, you guys are all just in, let's go. And so I get to the back of the room, and my brain is exploding. My heart's pumping out of my chest. I'm sweating profusely because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is gonna be so cool. How do I hide my excitement? Right?
Yeah, how do you keep it cool?
Pure raw excitement, this rush, right? It's like drinking 5 Red Bulls at once.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting down, I'm going, okay, everybody, for those of you who are the number 1s, raise your hand again. Okay, fantastic. I got 2 laptops over here. I've got them open and ready to go. Just get your credit cards out. I want you to sign up over here. If you got questions, let's go. Yeah, that's about how it was, man. Silence. Nobody moved. Like, not one bit.
Wow.
And I had oh man, it's great stuff, John. I'm just not, ready to move forward. Oh, I didn't bring my checkbook. I got all the excuses. And like, when you go from such a high, like, you're gonna win, right? And then you literally drop and you melt, and you're like about to be in tears. Your face turns red. You're like, oh my gosh, how did I misjudge all this?
Right.
That was the moment I knew that I screwed up, and I needed to do it better. And I had learned right then and there that I didn't know enough about the people that I invited to this meeting. That I was told what I considered a lie was that just invite people, throw the diaper against the wall. Some of them are stick, others are going to slide down. And I realized that it doesn't matter what you're throwing against the wall, it's just going to leave a mess. And so I knew right then and there I needed a better system. I needed a better way to engage the right people, not just people. I knew that I never wanted to chase other people. I never wanted to feel that way again, where I had this pit in my stomach, not because of the success that I was going to have, because what did I just do and how did I look? And I just told everybody this was going to be fantastic, and I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Because I worked so hard.
Yeah.
Not one person purchased, man. Not one. And that was the day. And I went in and I started refining the systems and refining how I asked people questions. And I read every sales book I possibly could, and I wasn't finding the information in there. It was difficult. And I started working with the Rich Dad organization. I started working with some of these telemarketing teams and learning what they did on the phone and how they sold coaching and mentoring and packages. And I literally just went into the trenches for a couple of years. And I took what I learned from speaking and training and teaching in the network marketing industry in front of these big rooms, and what was going on behind the scenes with a lot of these organizations selling trainings and services and products on how they were enrolling people at these higher levels. And they had a baby, dude. They had a baby. And I said, look, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that. It was like a mad scientist Frankenstein. Let's just put it all together. And over the years, it came out fantastic. And to like write it off the wings. And I don't really like to talk about myself a lot, but I in this instance I need to. And I don't like the phrase. I hate this phrase, and maybe you do too. I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. I hate that phrase. Like, just tell us the truth. You're trying to impress us, right? So
brag about yourself, John. Let us know. Let us hear it.
Yeah, man. So it's time to impress you. So I'm telling this so that you are impressed by some dude who grew up in Southern California in a box with his entire family looking like Charlie from the Chocolate Factory, who was able to make it out of that world just by sheer bulldogged, determination. I wasn't smart. I just gathered all the stuff, mixed it up in a blender, and poof. I joined a network marketing company a few years back. And I said, look, I have to test this method, and I'm only going to use my method. I'm not going to use anything else. I'm going to throw out some bait. I'm going to throw out some advertising, and I'm going to get people calling me. And I'm going to see if these people that I do not know, I can put in some information through a webinar, through testimonial videos, through just Craigslist ads, and let's see if I can build the rapport well enough just with this system that it works. I started that network marketing company, I think it was about November, when I actually started selling and advertising. And by the end of the year, I'd taken their sales contest. I was number one that year. I was inducted into their, like a lot of you guys know, like the Diamond Club or the President's Advisory Council and board. I was literally inducted into that crew, and people were upset.
Right.
Because there are people who worked all year long in the network marketing business, and they hadn't closed enough sales to make it. I remember I beat one of the ladies who did a phenomenal job. She's a wonderful person, very good dear friend of mine now, who have had the opportunity to train and teach her teams this as well. And they've done great, but I only won by like $6,000. Like, my revenue was that close. But with only having a couple of months to finish off the contest by the end of the year to go to their national convention, at that point I knew I had something different that you could use on the phone, you can use in person, that an influencer could use to sell coaching, that you could sell products, you could sell water, you could help people literally align individuals with what. Because we know that people don't like what they need, right? We know that. Like, if you just give them the needs, like I know I need to take vitamins, but I'm not choking the horse pill down, right? So how do I give them the desire? How do I fulfill the desire and the need at the same time, and then wrap it all up in a bow to where they're begging me to buy? And that's what this is, man. That's what we've developed, and it has shrunk the time it takes for me to work with people. I work about 20 hours a week now in what I do, and the rest of the time I spend with my family, man. And I like to invest in real estate still. I like to buy properties. I really like helping people, like traveling and speaking and running masterminds. Just, and that's it, dude. That's kind of the evolution of this process. That's how I came up with it. And I can't take 100% credit, because I learned a lot in these different organizations from different people that had little pieces, right? And I think that's what we do as entrepreneurs, as influencers. We've been influenced ourselves. Actually go out and influence. And so for me to take credit, I'm not a self-made millionaire. Okay, it's a team thing. Whether it's a book that you've read from someone that has passed away and passed along that knowledge in that book, or that audio course, or the mentors you continue to have, the friendships and the relationships. Like, I've learned a ton from you, Stephen. Like, a lot of what you've taught has helped even this process succeed even greater.
Oh, cool.
And the other businesses that we own. And so, like, I think that the more people understand how connected that we are, a whole lot easier that everything becomes. And it's less about closing, and it's more about connecting and getting people to desire what they need than shoving it down their throat. So hopefully that answers there. I know that went on a discourse, man.
I love the discourse, but it's so true. Like that whole phrase, "we all rise together," to me, for some reason, that always seemed a little bit cheesy. But the longer I've been doing this, the more I've realized the exact same. It's like, look, I did not get anywhere on my own. Like, we all do it together. We have to. If you try and do it on your own, you actually will drown. Anyway, I'm so thankful for what you taught here. And it just, I think the listeners are going to love it. Guys, if you have, please reach out to John and say thank you. You can learn more from him as well. Where can people find you, John?
The easiest thing right now to do is I like to connect with people. I like to see who you are, what you're doing in the industry. And one of the greatest tools right now out there is Facebook. I'm on Facebook. You got to go by my real name, John Albert Ferguson. I know it's not just John Ferguson. I got the big Al from my dad. So John Albert Ferguson on Facebook. And it's real simple. I got my personal profile and I got my page. And my page, you can hit me up in the messenger. And if you need some help, I'd love to spend about like a 15-minute consultation with you for free. No charge. Just kind of see where you're at, what you're doing. Maybe we can unlock a few things and help to implement it. And if it's something we want to work together, beyond that, fantastic. And we'll find a way. And we do coaching. I do masterminds, such like that. But really, I want to provide value first. And what they're going to see too, Stephen, is I love real estate investing. And so you'll see a lot about my real estate, the things that I do, and as well as my coaching and training and speaking within the sales and network marketing arena. So I think that's probably the easiest thing to do, man, is just so they can get a picture of who I am, like my family and what I do. I think that was the biggest thing is, in this industry, I think a lot of people don't sell. They don't close. They can't, because they feel they have to have accomplished some level of success before they can introduce their thing, right? Well, let's say I've got this bottle of water here that's going to change people's lives, right? Well, maybe it's your first week and your life hasn't changed yet. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can posture the water. You can posture your upline. You can posture, just the experience you've currently had in the last 24 hours of being involved in an amazing community of people. And enough is enough. Don't have to be right now. And I like the whole act as if thing, but why not just be you? Like, be yourself.
Right.
Like, are you going to allow somebody into your house with dirty, muddy shoes? Probably not. You're going to ask them to take it off. Are you going to let just anybody join your thing? Probably not. And you shouldn't. Like, if you're like, no, yeah, I will. I haven't made a sale, so I got to call somebody. Like, if anyone wants to come in and give me money, they're in. No. There's going to be way more headache.
Yeah, no way.
You do not want the headache. You want to retain the right people so they can build the right community with you, and you'll have a whole lot more fun. Like, the money doesn't matter. You'll make more money being happy and enrolling the right people than you will trying to get other people just to buy.
Amen. Amen. We need that on a T-shirt and a mug. That was good. Yeah, anyway, I appreciate that. Sorry to cut you off there. You were on a roll, man. I'm loving the dialogues. This is awesome.
Yeah. No, we're good.
Hey, thank you so much. Hey, guys, go check out John, though. Go to his Facebook page. He's doing, you said, working 20 hours a week, which is awesome. Obviously, walking the walk, talking the talk. You know what you're doing. And for me, it's been fun to look around and go and find out, like, oh, man, who are the ones in MLM who are really killing it, who are, and not, meaning they've actually figured out a system, and you clearly just over and over and over pop up as like one of the most expert individuals in this space, in this area, and I'm just so thankful to have you on the show. Please go check out John, though, at Facebook. Connect with him. You can do a 15-minute consultation with him. For those of you guys who are jumping in secret MLM hacks, you also got a awesome training model from him as well. John, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Yeah, fantastic. It was a pleasure. I really appreciate it, and Love what you're doing, Stephen. You've got some amazing things happening for your listeners. And Secret MLM Hacks rocks. I mean, if your listeners haven't joined that yet, you need to, because that is what we're talking about today, is really engaging the proper people with the proper solutions that are geared towards their desires and their needs. And you're laying it out there in plain speech that anybody can implement. So, man, I'm just glad to have been a small part of this and helping your audience succeed, man.
Oh, man, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to rate and subscribe. Whether you just want more leads or automated MLM funnels, or if you just want to learn to get paid more for your product, head over to secretmlmhacks.com to join the next free training today.